Right guys, we have details regarding the pricing for the regular iPhone 14 models, and so let's delve into it. But first, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumors. And with that being said, let's just tuck in. Right, so the source is the Galax on Twitter. Now, they're a pretty credible Samsung source, but a not so credible Apple source, and so do take this with a grain of salt. But to be fair, the tidbit they do give us is pretty straightforward for the most part. So the Galax believes the 14 Max is going to be $899, which of course is $100 more than the 6.1-inch regular iPhone, which starts at $799. Now the immediate question some of you guys might have, that I myself was wondering about, was that why can't Apple just give us the regular 14 at $699 and then bring down the 14 Max to $799? Well, I do think there are two reasons. The first one, of course, is that Apple doesn't want the Max to be too low so that it cannibalizes the 14 Pro Max. So yes, don't get me wrong, the 14 Max is going to be more popular than the more expensive 14 Pro Max. That just makes sense. The regular iPhone is always more popular than the Pros, and so I don't see that changing with the iPhone 14 series. But of course, Apple prices their products in a very specific way where of course consumers are compelled to pay a little more and go up to the Pro models so that Apple makes a lot more profit. For example, let's say you're shopping for an iPhone, Apple then of course is going to entice you with the Pros, and they're going to point out that for $200 more you get a 120Hz panel, triple lens cameras, stainless steel, a matte back, macro modes, and also more RAM. And that of course is going to convince you to get the Pros, and Apple gets you to spend more money. And so in a similar way, I can see some being compelled by the 14 Pro Max, since for $200 more you're getting a hole punch display on the front, you're getting the titanium sides, the 120Hz panel, the 48 megapixel main sensor, and I'm sure other improvements as well. But that does not work when the 14 Max is $300 or $400 cheaper, because that is a significant saving, and even with the improvements the 14 Pro Max has, most can't justify spending that much more. Whereas of course $200 is a pretty small jump for the upgrades you're gonna get with the Pro models. And so yes, much like we see with the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro now, I do think there's going to be a $200 difference between the iPhone 14 Pro Max and the iPhone 14 Max. But another reason why I do think the 14 Max makes sense at $899 is of course the fact Apple does keep around the older iPhones in the range. So of course this year Apple surprised us by keeping the 12 and also 12 mini. However, because there was now an extra iPhone in the range, you had two iPhones at the same price point, and that was the iPhone 12 and the 13 mini at the $699 price point. And while to be honest, I do think this is a little confusing and also a little messy, so I do think having $100 in between each iPhone is the way to go. And so of course, getting rid of the mini and giving us a more expensive Max allows the iPhone 13 next year to take the $699 price point, and then of course the 14 sits above it at $799. And so yes, with the introduction of the 14 Max, the iPhone lineup is going to be a lot more simple and easier to understand, and ultimately that's pretty important. So yes, as much as I was hoping to see the 14 Max at the $799 price point, I do think the chances of that happening are pretty low. But guys, tell me in the comments below, what do you think are going to be the prices for the regular 14s? Anyways, thank you for watching guys, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumors. Check out the video in the card above on details regarding the iPad Air 5, and on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya peeps!